A young woman who, as they used to say, was in trouble. Shepherds and angels, mysterious wise men on a journey, a tyrant and taxes, and a baby placed of, in all places, a manger. The Christmas story is a compelling one. Whether you believe the story or you see it as a quaint remnant or have another relationship with it, the fact remains the story is compelling, and that for many, many years, people have chosen to tell about it, sing about it, reflect upon it, and in some cases, debate about it. There are other similar stories that have been told through the ages. Other people, other traditions have stories of winter births and virgin mothers. The Hindus have Krishna, the Zoroastrians have Zarathustra, and the Romans had Mithras. The image of an extraordinary child born under extraordinary circumstances is a powerful one, and one that we seem to respond to. Perhaps something in us wants to believe. So tonight, in this place, we turn our thoughts to the story of the Christian scriptures. Regardless of your theology or your viewpoint, I think it has something to tell us. It's as if we've received messages across the years. Now, at the center of it is a baby. Babies are wonderful things. They're amazing. We marvel at them and at the potential they represent. But the story we tell about baby Jesus is more than a story about the potential in each new life. Jesus, the story goes, is divine. And it seems to me that's a remarkable image because as wonderful as babies are, they're also quite bothersome. They can't do anything for themselves. They're messy and smelly. And there are days when it's hard to muster the strength just to do what needs to be done to take care of them. And this one in the story is divine. Perhaps they all are. Perhaps we all are. One of the messages I take from the nativity story is that we can find the divine in the most unlikely places. It's easy when things are going well and when life is beautiful to imagine that we are surrounded by evidence of wonder. But in the nativity story, things were not going well for Mary and Joseph. They were simple people and they were in a terrible predicament. Imagine how dark and desperate things must have seemed to them. They had no place to go. Mary was in labor and they were far away from the people who might have offered them some help. Hardly the circumstances you'd expect for the birth of a divine. But again, the story persists. We don't, it asserts, need to look in grand mansions or in those high places to see that which is most worthy. Even during the hardest times, in the most difficult of circumstances, we can, if we listen just so, hear angel songs. On a cold winter night, the star we see might, if we let it, lead us to an encounter with a miracle. Perhaps what is most significant, though, about the baby in this story isn't the angels and the wise men and the unusual circumstances of the birth. That's a lot already. But the baby in that story was called in his adulthood to stand for compassion and justice. He elevated the marginalized, women, the poor, and outsiders. Jesus directly undermined the rigid social and power structures of his time. That's a remarkable story. What are the implications of this message? I think they're far-ranging. If we can imagine the divine in the face of a simple baby, perhaps we can see it too in the face of the old woman we pass on the street, or someone who we find particularly annoying. Perhaps we can see the divine in the face of everyone, and perhaps we can acknowledge it in ourselves. And what difference would that make? We might not worry so much about finding saviors, and we might be reminded that it's our job to reach out to one another. Perhaps the story is a reminder that we can, at least some of the time, save one another. Sometimes we are called to be there and to help someone who has lost their way, or who is scared, or who is sick. At other times, we need to acknowledge that we're in trouble and that the people around us can offer us what we need. There's much to challenge us in the Nativity story. Unitarian minister Tom Shade reflected on our Unitarian Universalist practices at this time of year. He wrote, "We will reflect on the meaning of a winter festival that reminds us that what we hope for will come from the most unexpected places, on sudden and seemingly miraculous reversal. We'll reflect on sudden and seemingly miraculous reversals, like light in the darkest hour. We'll think about kings worshiping in stables and virgin births, and all of this will be incarnated in acts of generosity, kindness, hospitality, and rootedness. We tell," he says, "of a salvation that spreads from hand to hand like the candlelight in a darkened sanctuary on Christmas Eve." And so may we, reminded again of the story of a poor couple and their baby, know that salvation comes in the kindnesses we offer to one another, in the work we do each and every day to make the world more joyful and more just. May we find the courage to follow a star in search of unlikely wonder. May we have faith to hear an angel song on the wind of a winter's night. And may we dare to dream of peace on earth.